something that was interesting that you mentioned one time was regarding not having to struggle in certain ways because of not having to deal with certain types of material lack. And in a way, I would like to see if there's any part of this that you might want to contribute as far as that goes.
That's extremely relevant to what we're talking about right now because, as you said, we all have different experience. We come from different places, and those places influence the challenges that we're going to face, the obstacles we're going to face in our lives. I have been extremely lucky because I grew up in a family that was extremely loving and supportive. Both of my parents are still married, and they were able to provide for me to go to college, to any college that I wanted to go to. They took on the burden of making sure that that happened so that I could go through school without worrying about how much it was going to cost. Then I married a beautiful young woman who also came from a family where both of her parents are still married, and they also were making sure that she was able to go to whatever college she wanted to go to. So they set us free into this new world of being married together without all of the burden of the student loans and all of those things, which allowed us to embark on an adventure together and to, take some risks and be entrepreneurial. What has been nice about that is I've been very cognizant of that and therefore made deliberate decisions knowing that I have been given a lot and therefore I do owe a lot. But that being said, you're right in the sense that I don't really know what it's like to not be able to rely on anyone or not know who I can ask for help. I think the world that we're trying to create is a world where everyone can say that. I think that's why these conversations become very complex and difficult, because there really is a place where we want to go. We're trying to move there together, and it's through mutual support that we're going to get there, but also we have to get there in a way where we're not dictating to other people how it is they need to get there. Mm-hmm. That there's no one path to get there. Mm-hmm. So based on what you're saying about looking at different different communities with different level of economic power and guilt, I think what's interesting is in the United States, with hard work and luck, it's possible for anyone to become wealthy. What we're talking about in this blog is to increase the odds of your luck. You still need luck. You still need luck. But if you make poor financial decisions when you're younger, you're going to reduce the number of ping pong balls that you have in the lottery. We're confident that the folks watching this blog they're going to work hard. So all they need now is both a little bit of support from their friends and family and a little bit of luck, so that they can keep forging ahead. And we're going to talk about a couple of tools so that you can increase your luck. Now to bring that back, when we first started here, we were talking about the Protestant work ethic, mm-hmm. which was directly anchored in a religious community and a religious tradition. And I think what's really interesting is that we actually have other religious communities and other religious traditions that we don't really think about in the United States that can actually help guide our path. And the first one is Islam. Because within the Muslim community, the practice of usury, which is the loaning of money to others in order to collect interest and to make money off of someone else's debt, is very, very much frowned upon. And you have different interpretations of Muhammad's teachings on the Quran, but at the most basic level, it's very, very frowned upon. And I think that's interesting because, as we're going to talk about in the later blogs, credit cards and student loans and car payments and mortgage payments can be a trap, and they can be something that suck your soul down. Also within the Baha'i faith, Baha'u'llah, he talked about how we need to be cognizant of the fact that when we do lend money to another person, there is a just compensation, because if I loan you $10,000 to start a business, you are using this asset in order to be productive, to create wealth, and therefore there is a just return that is owed. However, very explicitly, he states in one of his tablets that the person or institution lending out the money needs to be very, very mindful of what the just amount of interest would be. And I think that the just amount of interest is definitely not the norm among a lot of credit card companies and check cashing companies and short-term loan companies and all of this stuff. So what that does is, since both Muhammad and Baha'u'llah have keyed in and wrote specifically about debt and interest, that means that it's something extremely important for us to be aware of.
Yeah.
Vibrations which are not visible to the eye, but which are rapid enough to be sensed by the ear.